Friday at Pizza Flicks. Tonight from Fox Movietone is the silver screen debut of Paul Muni, delivering a powerhouse performance that foreshadows his legendary Oscar-winning career. This unforgettable tale of sacrifice and redemption co-stars Marguerite, Churchill, and Johnny Mack Brown, and stands as a testament to the raw intensity of cinema at the dawn of sound.
What's the idea of parking up against that fire plug?
I'm sorry, officer.
Come on, let's see your license.
Certainly.
Oh, I beg your pardon, Father. Now, that's all right, Father. That's all right, Father. No, come on, Father, get right in here.
Thank you,
There
thank
you
you.
go, Father.
Thank you.
And you want to watch out for that cop on the next corner? He's not one of us. Oh, I think I'll go with you and drive through the traffic.
Right.
See that you get through all right. What you going on?
I was wondering.
Yeah?
Say, you
Right.
ought to see that little kid.
Some of you fellas going over to precinct 10 next. Got a passport. The girl said she was married.
Married? And what did you say?
I told her she was mistaken.
Well, what's on your mind?
I've killed a man.
You killed a man?
Yes. At 191 East 8th Street.
How did you kill him?
I shot him. With this.
Why?
He deserved to die.
Who was he?
His name was John Harris.
Search him. Go to this address and report to me.
Yes, sir.
What's your name? What's your name?
Dyke. James Dyke.
Anything to identify him?
All the marks have been torn out, Lieutenant.
Why are you giving yourself up?
It was the only thing to do.
Where do you live?
I have no address.
Where were you born?
But it doesn't matter.
Oh, that's how it is.
Yes.
You fully realize what you are saying. Lock him up. Get me headquarters.
Prisoner, stand up. Before passing sentence upon you, the court would like once more to remind you of the duty and obligation you owe your fellow men. You have assumed a fictitious name and in every way attempted to keep your real identity a secret. I am not quite certain what your purpose is, but it should be evident to you that such conduct may bring grave apprehension and fear to many homes throughout the land, homes now plunged in sorrow because of the absence of a husband or son or brother, and the fear that you might be that missing one. Who are you? Don't you feel that you owe anything to those others? Have you nothing to say before sentence is passed upon you?
Only this, Your Honor. I killed a man, and I'm not sorry. That is, I'm not sorry I killed that particular man. I never struck anybody in anger in all my life. But when I knew what he had done, I had to kill him. And if I've got to be judged by God Almighty for the crime of murder, I'm not afraid. Because that other man will certainly be there too. And when God hears the whole story, both sides of it, a story you and the jury never heard, why then I'm willing to take my chances with the other fellow.
Is there anything else?
Nothing else.
Then it is the duty of this court to sentence you to be executed at the state's prison during the week of August 17th. And may God have mercy on your soul.
Here. Come on back here. You stay right here with your mother. Here, come on back here, laddie. We have a very important engagement. Have a big surprise ready for you. Come on.
Good morning, Mrs. Douglas.
Oh, good morning, Robert.
My, you look charming.
Thank you.
Some day, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It was on just such a day that my boy Joe left home. And I'm always hoping he'll come back again on a day like this.
I hope so too, Mrs. Douglas. Well, here's your Columbus paper.
Oh, thanks. Looking for Mary?
Well, is she around?
You find her in the garden.
Do you think she'll be glad to see me?
Well, I think she will.
That's it, laddie. Just a minute now, old fellow.
Hello, Mary.
Oh, hello, Bob. Will you help me with him, please?
Sure.
Here, now, hold
Steady,
still, laddie,
laddie, steady.
hold still. Here, now, just a minute here. Don't you know this is for your own good?
That's right, laddie. The less you like a thing, the better it is for you, boy.
We'll soon have it over with now. Here, now, just a minute now. Sit down. Here, hold still a minute now.
Whoa, boy.
Get the water and we'll rinse him off. There in that bucket.
Here we go.
Now, hold still. Hold still, laddie. Hold still now.
All right,
Just a minute.
laddie.
Hold still. Where's the cow? Hold still. Oh, there he
Laddie.
goes, Bob. Oh,
Here.
get him. Come here, Laddie.
Here, laddie.
Come here, Laddie. Laddie, come here. Come here.
Here, laddie.
Here, come here. Here, Laddie. Oh. Oh, he's gone.
You aren't hurt, are you?
Oh, no. Oh, Bob.
I love you, honey.
Bob.
Do you love me?
I suppose so.
You'll never be sorry.
I hope you won't be, Bob.
Not a chance.
Mary! Mary! Yes, Mother? Come here, dear, will you? What is it, darling?
Look at this picture, Mary. Does it remind you of anyone?
Why, no.
Who is it?
Oh, that poor man in prison that won't tell who he is.
Well, there's something about his expression that... Oh, he does look like my Joe.
Oh, now, Mother.
But he does.
Mrs. Douglas, it's just your
Oh,
imagination.
yes, dear. You're getting to see Joe in every newspaper photograph. Listen, dear, if Joe's alive after all these years, he couldn't be this man. Not our Joe.
Why, certainly not, Mrs. Douglas.
Oh, I suppose you're right. It isn't possible that Joe could be what this man is. But still
Now, darling, please forget about this unfortunate man and listen to what Bob has to tell you. Well, go on, tell her, Bob. Tell her.
Mrs. Douglas, I have the honor to ask you for your daughter's hand in marriage.
Mary.
I hope you'll give your consent.
Why, my dear boy, of course. It's what I've always hoped for. I know you and Mary will be very happy making your own home.
Oh, but we won't leave you, Mother, will we, Bob?
certainly not.
We're all going to live together, you and Bob and I. Won't that be wonderful?
Now it's all up to you, my man. You have been committed to this prison until the sentence pronounced upon you by the court has been carried out. If you behave yourself, you will have no reason to complain of your treatment. Now, is there anyone you wish to communicate with?
No.
No?
No, no one. I'd like to make that clear to you, Warden. I haven't any mother or father or sister or wife or sweetheart. And my name is Dyke. James Dyke.
Very well. Dyke. All right, Bill.
I didn't know you had music here.
Hey, Tom. Hurry up. Let's go eat.
No, I'm on a diet.
Hey. Looks like it's all up with that fella Dyke. Believe me, it'll be a relief to get that guy off the front page. I wonder who he is.
Yeah?
You and a million others wonders who he is. He writes pretty good for a convict. They say he gets plenty of dough for these articles he's writing in the paper. The boss told me he gets $2,500. Yeah? Well, I wonder what he does with all this money. I don't know.
I hear that he buys Liberty bonds with it.
Started kind of late, didn't he? Always got some idea in the back of the nuts. He'll do something with it before he dies, I suppose.
Hello, Joey. Hello.
Hello, Mary.
What kept you so late? I've been waiting and waiting for you.
Well, I'm sorry. But what do you think, Mary? They've put me in a Shakespeare play.
In a Shakespeare play?
Yes, at school. And it's all about kings and queens and witches.
Are they bad witches?
Oh, they're terrible witches. Why, one of them has teeth like...
But you won't let them get me, will you?
Oh, no, Mary, it's only in the play.
Tell me some more, Joey. Tell me some more about the terrible witches.
No, Mary. I'll tell you the rest tonight when you go to bed. And that was the end of all the bad witches. And so the beautiful princess and the brave prince were married and lived happily ever afterward.
That all the story?
Yes, that's all of the story. Now we must say good night.
Good night, Joey.
No, that isn't the way I taught you to say good night.
Good night. Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I should say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace, so sweet to rest.
How does it feel to be engaged?
It feels great to me. Don't I look happy?
Yes, but wait till you're married.
Oh, let's go see how Mother is.
Good.
Mother, dear, don't you want to come and watch the dancing? What is it, dear?
Mary, I'm going east. I've got to see this man.
Mother.
I've got to make sure he's not my boy.
But, dear, don't you know he's not?
No, I don't. These newspaper photographs, I've studied and studied them until I'm almost blind. Some of them look like these pictures of my boy. Others don't. I must meet this man, Mary. I'll never rest until I do. I must go to him.
But, dear, you can't go to him in prison.
Oh, yes, I can.
It's out of the question, Mrs. Douglas.
You're not strong enough.
I'll find strength to go.
Oh, now, Mother, dear, please be sensible. Why, Mother, a trip like that would kill you.
This uncertainty is killing me.
But this man can't be your son. It's impossible.
I tell myself that. But night and day I can't get away from the thought that he might be my boy. And if he is, oh, don't you see? I'm his mother. I've got to go to him. I've got to.
Oh, if you feel this way, if nothing else will satisfy you, I'll go. I'll go tomorrow.
Oh, would you?
Of course I would. If it'll make you any happier.
Oh, it would. It would make me happier to know.
And I'll go along with her, Mrs. Douglas, so you needn't worry.
But you were just a little girl when he left home. You can't remember Joe.
Oh, I haven't forgotten him entirely. Then he should remember me.
But it's so many years, Mary. You've grown into a young woman. No, he'd never recognize you.
Oh, yes, he will. I know how I can recall myself to him. If it is Joe. Now you leave everything to me. Promise, darling. Promise.
Very well. I promise.
I think it's somebody's bedtime.
Yes, dear. You've been up pretty late for you. Now, you go with Mrs. Smith. I'll come up and kiss you good night.
All right, dear. Good night, Robert.
Good night, Mrs. Douglas.
Good night.
Oh, Bob. Mother has almost made me believe that this man might be Joe.
Have your tickets ready, please.
How much longer, Bob?
We're due there in an hour.
Conductor, the train is stopping, isn't it?
Yes, madam, it is.
Conductor, are those mountains?
What do they look like, madam?
They look like mountains.
Then they must be mountains.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, come up here.
See my doll.
Oh, isn't she lovely? What's her name?
Patsy Sue.
What's your name?
Sue Ann. Have you got a little girl like me?
No, I haven't.
Well, well, little lady. Having a nice trip?
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. Give Mama a big hug.
It's not my mom. My mom is over there.
Oh, excuse me.
Come, Suzanne. Come to Mother. Bye. Bob, have you thought what this trip means? Not only to Mother, but to you and me. It's our happiness that's at stake.
Our happiness?
Yes. If this man in prison should be my brother, why, I couldn't marry you.
Oh, nonsense, honey. Nonsense.
It wouldn't be fair to you. Oh, don't you see, Bob? People are cruel. They'd never let you forget that your wife's brother was a... Oh, I couldn't marry you, darling. I just couldn't.
Oh, don't be silly, honey.
Oh, maybe I am silly, but that's the way I feel.
Hello? Hello? All right, send her in. The young lady the governor phoned about. He wants me to let her see Dyke. She thinks he might be her brother. Sit down, Dyke. Dyke, you've been in my charge now for nearly 4 months, and I want to say that from first to last, you've behaved like a gentleman.
Well, why should I make you any trouble?
You haven't made me any trouble, and I've tried to show you how I feel about it. I've made you every bit as comfortable as the law would let me.
You've been very kind, Warden. And you too, Chaplain. If I haven't shown any appreciation for what you've done, why, I'm sorry.
Will you smoke? Cigar or cigarette?
Cigarette, if you don't mind. Thanks.
Now, Dyke, about these Liberty bonds. $2,500 in real money.
Good looking, aren't they?
What'll I do with them?
Why,
Who do you want me to send them to? Must be someone.
well, yes, there is. I guess I can't very well without...
Without giving away who you are. Is that what you're afraid of?
Oh, let's forget about it.
Well, that's just what I can't do. I can't give them away, and I can't keep them here. What'll I do with them?
I'll think of something to do with them.
What is it?
The young lady, Chief.
Send her in a minute.
Yes, Chief.
Dyke, I want you to see this young lady. Governor's instructions. She believes you're her brother.
She's wrong. I'm not her brother.
Well, will you tell her that, or shall I?
Well, you might as well tell her.
She'd come 1,000 miles to see you,
She's
Dyke.
on a fool's errand. She's come 1,000 miles, did you say?
Yeah.
It wouldn't take you 2 minutes to see her, my boy. Don't you think you should, after she's made that long journey?
Well, where can I talk with her? Here?
Yes?
Alone? Why, you needn't be afraid. I wouldn't cheat the state for anything in the world. Not even to please a young lady.
Well, it's a little unusual, but if I put you on your honor...
My honor. Thanks.
Chaplain, you take Dyke into the deputy's room. I want to talk to this young lady first.
Certainly. Come, my boy.
You are Miss Douglas?
Yes, sir.
Just had an interview with the governor, I believe.
Yes, sir.
You think there's a possibility that this Dyke might be your brother?
A possibility, yes, sir. Oh, I'm not too late, am I?
No, you're not too late. But I want to have a little talk with you beforehand. No, I just want to make it easy for you. Sit down.
Thank you.
Where do you live?
Pennington, Ohio.
Pennington, eh? I see. With your father and mother?
No, sir, just my mother. My father died when I was a baby.
Why didn't your mother come herself?
She's not well.
Oh, I see. Have you any brothers or sisters?
Just one brother, sir. This one, Oh, we were very fond of each other.
He was much older than you.
Oh, yes, sir. 10 years older.
Why did he leave home?
Well, I don't really know, sir, except that, well, he just wanted to be in the city. He's small.
How long since you've seen him?
It's 15 years, and we haven't heard from him in all that time.
Would you think you'd recognize him if you did see him?
Oh, of course, I think so, but maybe I couldn't. You see, I was just a little girl when he went away. Oh, he wasn't a bad boy. I don't believe he ever could be really bad. But if this is my brother, why, he's been in a great deal of trouble. And you know trouble makes people look different.
Yes, it does. Too bad your mother couldn't have come herself. She'd have known him even if he had changed. How are you going to tell him?
How? What do you mean?
Why, you say that maybe you wouldn't know him even if you saw him. And I'll guarantee this man Dyke won't help you out very much. Suppose he doesn't want to be recognized by you or anybody else. Suppose he's so ashamed of it.
Oh, I thought of that. You see, I'm just going to talk to him. Ask him questions about things he and I used to do together. I'll watch his face. And if it is my brother, oh, I'm sure I can tell.
Well, what did you and your brother used to do that might help you out now?
Well, he used to play games with me when I was a little girl and teach me verses. Oh, that's what I'm counting on mostly. The verses.
Verses?
Yes. We used to call them our good night verses. Every evening, when I'd be sent off to bed, Joe and I had a little Romeo and Juliet good night of our very own. I'd say to him, good night, good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I should say good night till it be morrow. And then Joe would answer, sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace, so sweet to rest. Oh, if it is Joe, he'll remember.
Well, I'll have him in anyway. If he turns out to be your brother, you can have, say, 1 hour with him. If not, oblige me by cutting it as short as you can.
You see, I've got to tell Mother something definite. She's worried about Joe so long, and, oh, now the suspense is terrible for her.
Yes, I can understand that. You're a brave girl.
Of course, it would be awful for us if this is Joe, but, oh, even that would be better than for Mother just to wonder and wonder and never know what became of him.
Dyke, this is the young lady who's come all the way from Pennington, Ohio to see you.
Yes, sir.
I've decided that you can talk with her here alone.
Thanks. It won't take long.
The chaplain and I will be in the deputy's room. We'll leave the door open. Wilson, you stay in the anteroom with that door open. I hope you remember what I said about the time. Come, chaplain.
Mother sent me to see you.
Yes?
You see, well, we haven't seen or heard of my brother Joe in ever so long, and Mother thought after what we read in the papers that...
I might be your brother Joe?
Yes, that's it.
Well, you can easily see that I'm not your brother, can't you?
I'm not sure. You know, you look a little like him, just as the picture did in the paper, but... Oh, then again, it's been so long. Well, I'd thought of Joe so differently.
As a matter of fact, I couldn't be your brother or anybody else's brother, because I never had a sister. So that rather settles it.
Honestly?
Honestly?
What's your real name?
Dyke. James Dyke.
That's sure enough your name.
Sure enough. You don't think I'd tell a lie at this stage of the game, do you?
No, I don't believe you would, but... Where do you come from? I mean, where were you born?
Canada. But I've lived all over.
Didn't you ever live in Ohio?
No. Never.
Well, what kind of work did you do? I mean, what was your business?
Oh, I'm sort of jack of all trades. I've been everything a man could be, except a success.
Do you like books?
Books?
Yes, books to read.
I don't read if there's anything better to do. I read a lot here.
Oh, I hope you don't mind my asking so many questions, but...
Oh, go ahead, if it'll relieve your mind any.
Well, you went to school somewhere, high school?
No, I never got that far.
Do you know any poetry?
Not to speak of.
Don't you remember this? Good night. Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I should say good night till it be morrow. What comes next?
Good Lord, I don't know. Sounds kind of silly to me.
Goodbye. You're not Joe, are you? I just have to come and find out, though. I hope I've not made you too unhappy.
You're going back to your mother?
Yes.
surprised that she sent a girl like you on such a sorry errand as this, instead of...
She's very sick.
That's too bad.
No, Mother isn't at all well. Most of it's from worrying about Joe.
But still, if you tell her that her son isn't a murderer, at least that he isn't this one, that'll comfort her a good deal, won't it?
Yes, I guess maybe it will, only...
Only what?
Oh, I don't think Mother will ever be really well again until she finds out for certain where Joe is and what's become of him.
Mothers oughtn't be treated like that. I wish I'd treated mine better. By the way, you haven't told me what your name is.
Mary Douglas.
Douglas? Wait a minute. I knew a fellow named Douglas, but then again, I guess there are a lot of fellows named Douglas. And your brother's name was Joseph?
Why, yes. I used to call him Joey. That's funny, isn't it?
Well, I don't think that's so funny. I rather like it. What was that fellow's name? Joseph?
Joseph?
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, I'll get it. Joseph Douglas. Joseph Anthony Douglas. That's it.
Why, that's his name. That's Joe. Why, how did you ever... Tell me, where did
Now, wait.
you...
Listen carefully to what I say, and don't interrupt me, because we've only got a minute, and I want you to get this all straight so that you can tell your mother. When the war came along, I enlisted and went overseas for 4 years with the Canadians. Well, early one morning, we'd staged a big trench raid, and there was an officer who had been wounded coming back, and he was lying out there in a shell hole under fire. Well, all of a sudden, a young fellow dashed out of a trench and went for the officer. He had to go through a curtain of shells, and more than that. They opened on him with rifles and machine guns. The chances were about 1,000,000 to 1 against him, and he must have known it. Well, he went out just the same. He got the officer in his arms and started back. But he'd only gone a few yards when a 5.9 landed right on top of the two of them. Afterwards, we got what was left. The identification tag was still there, and that was the name. Joseph Anthony Douglas.
Oh.
If that was your brother's name, you can tell your mother that he died like a brave man and a soldier.
Joe. My brother, Joe, is dead.
Yeah, but many of us fellas would have liked to die just that way. If an officer had seen it, there would have been a decoration for your mother to keep and remember him by.
And you were there and saw it?
Why, certainly. I was there and saw it. That's why you and your mother hadn't heard from him for such a long time. If you don't believe what I've said, why, you ride up to Ottawa and get the official record. Of course, those records are in terribly poor shape, but at least they can tell you in what battalion he fought with and when he went overseas. But you shouldn't be surprised no matter what they say, whether he was killed in action or died of wounds or is missing or even went through the whole war with his outfit and was honorably discharged. They really don't know what happened to half the men. But what I told you is the truth. And it sure ought to make your mother happy to know that her son died a soldier. And not a criminal.
Oh, yes, it will.
And does it make you happy, too?
Yes, it does. After what we were both afraid of. I can't even cry yet. It won't exactly make Mother happy, but oh, I know she'll be so proud of Joey.
Oh, just a minute. I want you to give this to your mother from me. Tell her it's from a man who was at Vimy Ridge and saw your brother die. So it's a sort of a memorial for him. No, don't you open it. Let her do it.
What is it? Can't I know?
No, just give it to her. Nothing. It's all I got in the world, and it's too late now for me to do anything else with it. And have your mother buy a little gold star to wear for her boy. And you get one, too. And wear it here. Will you?
Yes, I will. Somehow, I'll almost feel that I'm wearing it for you, too.
No. Gosh, you must never do that. Why, I'm not fit to be mentioned in the same breath with a boy like your brother. Well, I guess it is time for you to go. I'm sorry, but you'd better. I'm glad you came before it was too late, though.
Goodbye. You've done more for Mother and me than I can ever tell you. And I'm so sorry for you. So truly sorry. If there was only something I could do to make you a tiny bit happier, is there anything?
Why, yes, there is.
What is it?
No, I can't tell you. I shouldn't have mentioned it.
Oh, please tell me. I want you to. For Joe's sake. Tell me what I can do.
Well, in all the months that I've been in this hideous place, you're the first girl that I've seen. I didn't ever expect to see one again. I'd forgotten how much like angels women look. You see, it's been terribly lonesome, and tonight especially. And if you really do want to do something for me, for your brother's sake. You see, I haven't any sister of my own or anybody else that could say goodbye to me. So, if you could really say goodbye. Goodbye.
Good night.
What is it?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Oh, I was thinking what I used to say to my brother for good night. If I could only have said it to him just once more. For goodbye.
What was it?
I told it to you once and said it was silly.
Say it again.
Good night. Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow that I should say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep dwell upon thine eyes, peace in thy breast. Would I was sleep and peace, so sweet to rest. I'm glad you let me see that girl, Warden. Why, I mean that she showed me how lucky I was not to have a sister or a mother. I committed a crime, and I'm going to pay. That's fair enough. It will soon be all over for me. But if I had a family, it would never be over for them. They'd have to go on living and suffering. A fellow ought to think of that before doing what I did. Only I didn't have to, because I hadn't anyone.
My son. Dyke.
Oh. All right. Let's go.
Bob, I'm so glad we made that trip.
Yes, dear. Now your mother is satisfied about Joe.
Yes. Now she knows. And she's so proud of her hero boy. So very proud. Mother dear, it's getting chilly. Hadn't you better come in?